So to really see how the RQSs and all the rankings change after this weekend going into regionals.
And where that affects Southern Utah at number 19, just outside of the top 18, is it would change that they wouldn't, if they're in the top 18, they're going to face 2 teams ranked higher than them rather than 3. Now, Boise State, obviously, no question, they're going to be one of the top ranked teams in the country after this week. They're already number 11, hoping to climb that ladder a little bit, make their road even easier. Utah State and BYU likely in as well. Utah State's actually guaranteed a spot, and BYU, without a monumental collapse, is looking pretty good for that spot. So it looks like teams just getting their final warm-ups in. Going to begin here very shortly. Once again, it is going to be Southern Utah beginning on the vault, followed by Utah State on the bars, Boise State on the beam, and BYU on the floor. Here goes our first vault. This is Megan McBride for Southern Utah.
It was a pretty big hop at the end of that vault, but definitely a good start to get things kicking off here.
Moving right on over to the bars, we're going to keep things moving pretty quickly. Utah State's going to begin with Madison Ward.
It's a beautiful Jaeger release move, so you are required to do a release move in college gymnastics, and that's how you get your difficulty and your start value up to a 10-0. Great handstands by Maddie. Into a dismount. Beautiful routine by Maddie, step landing.
Great way to start things out for the Aggies there. Moving over to the beam. Boise State is going to begin with Diana Mejia.
Jumping up right on that beam. Full turn there, very nice. Definitely is a confident performer up there. Definitely what you want to see first is a strong, confident performer.
Diana is a senior, and you can see that senior confidence, senior leadership poking out.
Absolutely, it was a very nice series. Aerial flick, kind of a different series. We'll see a lot of the gymnasts do flick lay. Very nice leap. She had that full 180 split, which is exactly what we are looking for. Very nice side stummy. Definitely one of the harder skills. Overall, this routine has been very confident. She's landed all her skills, not hardly any wobbles, and a wonderful stick to finish it off.
Absolutely. Starting things off for the Cougars tonight, it's going to be Natasha Trejo here on the floor.
Now, BYU is one of the teams that have really fun floor routines. Each floor routine fits each girl's personality really well, so it'll be interesting to see what routines they have out tonight. Shows to her first pass. She's a round up back handspring double pike. Great amplitude on that double pike, so the judges are going to be looking for good height and good landing, so as long as the girls can keep this up, that'll be great. Getting ready for her second pass. Beautiful second pass. So you'll see a lot of the time the girls have a lot more dance between their second and third pass. It just kind of gives them time to take a little breather and get their energy level down so that they can get ready for this last pass and hit their routine. Off 1.5 punch front. Little stumble in the landing there, so she will get deducted for amplitude, but overall great routine by BYU.
Natasha had a season high 9.85 last week, and it looks like another great routine for her tonight. Back over to the vault for Southern Utah's Autumn Jorgensen.
She had a little bit of a struggle last week. against Utah State, but definitely not tonight. That was huge amplitude on that vault, and a very nice done vault for SUU.
The first vault score for Southern Utah on the vault is Megan McBride with a 9.7. Now up for Utah State on the bars is Bailey McIntyre.
Beautiful giant full. So you saw she was a little bit far in her release move, and she only got her fingers, so when she came around the bar, she did peel off. So on your releases, you want to make sure your whole hand and palm is completely over the bar so that you can get a good grip, and because she was too far, she just wasn't able to hang on. So she will have the option to either redo that skill or just jump up on the bar and finish her routine, but that will be deducted as a fall.
Tough break for the Aggies early on, but Bailey McIntyre, a really strong gymnast for Utah State.
What's nice about Utah State is the rest of the girls are strong enough to be able to just get up there and act like this fall never happened. They should just keep the routines going with great scores.
Now, as Courtney mentioned earlier, Utah State is coming off of their 7th highest bar score in school history. Really a phenomenal performance from them last week.
Good finish by Bailey, great dismount.
Now up for Boise State on the beam is going to be Courtney McGregor. Courtney McGregor, just absolutely amazing freshman for Boise State. She's an Olympian. She performed in the Rio Olympics just a couple of years ago for New Zealand.
Absolutely, that's definitely a cool thing for Boise State to have an Olympian on their team. Wonderful front tuck. Front passes tend to be more difficult for gymnasts because it is a blind landing, so they're not able to see their feet land on the beam. But she definitely is a seasoned gymnast with being an Olympian and an elite level gymnast that she'll be able to handle that. Very nice flick layout. So instead of stepping out on that layout step out, she landed on 2 feet. Very nice sweep pass. Few flexed feet there. Just going to be a 10th deduction, but again, 10ths are what's going to make the difference in this meet tonight. Under dismount. Round off full off the beam. Very nice, well done.
Now coming up on the floor for BYU is going to be Jill Van Mierlo. The first score on the floor for BYU was Natasha Trejo with a 9.65. Autumn Jorgensen recorded a 9.75 for Southern Utah.
So Jill didn't compete floor last week. Beautiful double back. Great landing, great amplitude. You can definitely see the height in these double backs.
Looks like we got a little bit of Sunday night football music here.
Right into her second pass, she does a Rudy, so it's a front 1.5 twist. Again, really good landings. Her chest is up on her lunge, and that's one thing that the judges definitely look for. It's a really fun floor routine. It's really nice to see the girls' personality come out in all these dance moves. Straight into her leap series. She has a switch side popo, which is a straddle full. And you will see that white line in the corner. That's just kind of a marker for the girls to know that that's where they need to stand in order to not go out of bounds, but still have enough room on the floor for their tumbling pass. Straight into her last pass, a front layout front full. It's a beautiful routine by Jill. The Cougars are going to be really happy with that one.
Next up on the vault for Southern Utah is going to be Madison McBride.
Now Madison did not compete last week against BYU, so she's new to the vault lineup this week. Very nice Uchengo full again, huge amplitude. Definitely a pattern that we're seeing from SUU.
Next up on bars for the Aggies is going to be Melanie Oster.
Melanie's a really strong bar worker, so should be able to pick up right where the Aggies left off and just kind of recover from that fall that Bailey McIntyre had. She gets ready for a straddle back. It is a unique skill. Most college girls do a shoot over, but she actually will face the same way and go back to the low bar. Good handstands. Beautiful double lay. Little step, so that will be a 10th, but it was a great routine.
Coming up on the beam for Boise State will be Paige Urquhart.
Comes their series. Flick, flick, lay, 3-part series. Boise State definitely has some more unique series that we're looking at right now.
Paige is coming off of a season high 9.875 in this previous competition against Denver.
Huge scores coming out from Boise. Definitely hoping to repeat that. Again, she's looking very confident up there on the beam, not letting any of those tenths. Comes her dismount. Round off, full off. Very nose done. Again, another stick for them.
Now up on floor for BYU is going to be Brianna Pearson. Brianna's a freshman out of Los Gatos, California.
Brianna did have a 9.725 last weekend, so it comes down to those landings and amplitude and whether or not she can get a better score this week. She goes right into her first pass. Double pike. Now you will see that mat on the floor. That is perfectly okay as long as it has the tape lines marking where out of bounds is so the judges can tell if she goes out or not.
BYU likes to choose very unique music, I think, that goes with the personalities of their gymnasts.
Yeah, they have really upbeat music that the crowd definitely can get into with the girls. It makes your routine that much more fun when your crowd can get into it with you. Your second pass. Front layout. There's that Rudy again, that 1.5 twist. Executed very well. She landed with her chest perfectly straight up and her feet together. Looks like she's having a lot of fun out there. She gets ready for her last pass. Round off, 1.5 punch front layout. Again, really strong floor routines from BYU tonight.
And back to the vault for Southern Utah will be Tylee Bizzuto. Tylee coming off a 9.75 last week, but just a couple weeks ago had a 9.9 against North Carolina State.
Huge score against North Carolina State. 9.9 is definitely going to be a score that they're wanting tonight. Huge round off full again. Slight hop out of that.
Utah State on the bars is now going to be Brittany Jepson.
Brittany Jepson is a freshman for Utah State, and she has been consistently in the bar lineup.
Every competition so far this season, she has competed on bars, or at least exhibitions.
She's a really strong barker. You see that giant pull straight into Tata. She will get a little deduction on that shoot over as she had a little bit of loose shapes, so she had to do the arch and try to save it. Beautiful handstands by Brittany.
And interestingly enough, Brittany is the only Utah native on this Aggie team.
Beautiful double layout, stuck landing by Brittany Jepson.
Now on the beam for Boise State will be Shani Remy.
Remy is coming off of last meet, a 9.925, huge score. Definitely going to be interested to see what she can do tonight. Here comes her series. Flick lay, very nice. Very stuck on that beam. Very nice full turn. Boise State has really been really confident all throughout their beam lineup this week. Little fun moonwalk to kick things off. Very nice sweep series, again hitting that 180-degree split that the judges are looking for.
We're going to see a lot of Remy tonight as she is the only all-arounder for Boise State competing tonight.
This is a good routine for her to start it off. It's been a really confident routine, and hopefully she can keep that up throughout the rest of the meet. Have a good all-around score. Another dismount. Another round off full, very nice.
Now up on the floor for BYU will be Shannon Hortman. Shannon is another freshman and also an all-arounder for BYU, one of two, along with Jill Van Mierlo.
She's coming off of a 9.875 in the last meet. So hopefully she can keep that up. It's a really good score for floor.
BYU had their season-high floor score last week in their meet against Southern Utah. Actually, I guess it was earlier this week with a score of 49.2.
Beautiful double pike. The amplitude on that was amazing. Great landing with her chest up. You see a big smile after that pass. It's a really fun floor routine as well. BYU just has the dancing going strong tonight. The second pass is a round up that handspring double back. So the two double backs back to back. Another beautiful landing straight into her leap series. Sounds like there's a shark attack out here on the floor. It's a really fun floor routine. The crowd's definitely getting into it. So Joey for her last pass. The front layout, front spool. BYU is going really strong on the floor tonight. They definitely are bringing the heat for this conference championship meet.
Absolutely. Now coming up on the ball for the Thunderbirds is going to be Stacy Webb.
Stacy Webb is coming off of a 9.775. Again, that's a pretty huge score, but definitely hoping to improve by a few tenths to hopefully get up to that 9.9 and possibly a 10. Round off full, a little bit low on the chest there, kind of landing in a pike. Want to see that you're definitely standing up really tall, but overall well. It was really high amplitude, definitely good to see.
Now up on the bars for Utah State will be Carrie Peel.
Carrie Peel's a senior, so this is her last time competing in the spectrum with her team. Straight into her release move, she's a Jaeger, straight into her shoot over, so that will get her bonus to get her start value up to a 10-0. Really clean lines by Carrie. You definitely want to see those hit 180 handstands. Into a beautiful giant full double back, stuck landing by Carrie Peel.
Now up on the beam for Boise State will be Sarah Means.
Means is coming off of a 9.9 last week, another huge score from Boise. Comes their series. Flick lay, very nice.
Sarah's been one of Boise State's most consistent gymnasts on the beam. Really just excellent scores in every meet this entire season. Never dropping below a 9.8.
Huge benefit for Boise. Definitely if she can deliver these high scores, they're going to keep her on those lineups. Good for her to see her staying on those events and being able to show to her coaches and her team that she'll be able to be a reliable. Nice front toss there. Right into her dismount with a stick. Very well done. Boise has been so strong tonight.
Coming up on the floor for BYU will be Mackenzie Douglas. Mackenzie's a junior out of Queen Creek, Arizona. Last week she recorded a 9.875 against Southern Utah. Really nice score.
BYU has really strong floor routines. They're one of the stronger floor teams, opening with a beautiful double pike. She's from the other girls. Again, great amplitude, great landing. Some Pirates of the Caribbean music. Gets ready for her second pass. Now back handspring, double back. Little twist down on the landing, so the judges can get her for amplitude, but overall it was a great pass. So a little bit more dance into her last pass just to catch her breath and get ready for listen to our reporter team. Here's a round off 1.5, punch front layout. Again, a little short on that landing. But a pretty good routine from BYU.
And now to kick off the final leg of this first rotation for Southern Utah is going to be Virginia Brownsell.
Brownsell recorded a 9.850 last week against Denver. A front entry vault, very well done. A little bit pikey on that pike on the way down, but very nice to see a unique vault.
Final gymnast on bars for Utah State would be Jasmine Estrella.
There's another freshman in the lineup. Jasmine has recorded a 9.85 on this event, so a really strong bar routine. She also does a Tkachev, like you saw from Brittany Jepson.
After kind of a tough start to this event when Bailey McIntyre fell, it seems like the Aggies have really been able to bounce back and make the most out of it, and it's really not going to be too bad to drop that.
Straight into her dismount, double layout, little hop. Yeah, that's one thing that the girls will practice in the gym so they can recover from those falls in lineup.
Over on the beam for Boise State is going to be Alex Asmarian.
Now, Asmarian recorded a 9.0 at last meet. Definitely a lower score than we're used to seeing from Boise. Comes their series. Flick, one-handed flick lay. So that was a 3-part series. Definitely something unique. Don't really see that very often, but wonderful job. Little wobble there on that full turn. That's really been the first wobble that we've really seen from Boise State. Really just showing how strong they are and that they're able to start on one of the harder events for teams normally on beam.
It'll be nice for Boise to have started on the beam and just kind of get that out of the way so the nerves don't really affect them from here on out.
Absolutely. Going for a dismount. Another round off full to a stick. Wonderful job.
And the final gymnast of this rotation is going to be Kylie Greenleaf, performing on the floor for Brigham Young University. Kylie's been a little bit off and on with when she's performed this season and when she's competed, but this will be her seventh of the season.
She did record a 9.875 last weekend, so one of the better meets for this season. She opens with a round off the low back. A little stumble on those landings, so she will get deductions for that. One thing that's nice is to see these girls just get up and smile after they know they had a little bit of a mess up, but as long as they can cover it up, the judges really don't take too much. And the second pass, heavy handspring front layout front goal. Almost went out of bounds there. The judges didn't raise their hands, so that means she stayed in. If you do go outside of the white line, it is 1/10 deduction off of your final score. So again, it's one of those things you don't really want to have to give up if you don't have to. Getting ready for her last pass. She has a front handspring. There's that Rudy again, 1.5 twist. Overall, really good routine for BYU. Good rotation for them.
And the BYU fans in the building love it. So we will have just a moment here as we wait for scores, and we'll read off the scores of each individual gymnast and the scores of that rotation. But how do you feel about each of those schools and the performances? I feel like Boise State, probably the highlight of that rotation on the beam. Just very, very solid work by the Broncos.
Second competition, second rotation is about to start.
Now up on vault for BYU. They're going to kick this rotation off with Lauren Love.
Very huge amplitude again, slight hop on the landing, but great start for them.
And now up on bars for Southern Utah will be Amber Heltemes.
Beautiful over the low bar mount. Straighten your handstands. She'll do a Jaeger as well. Well, she didn't connect it right away. That's okay, as long as she goes straight to handstand on that shoot over. Really good handstands by Southern to start off with. She gets ready for her dismount. Beautiful double A, a little bit of leg separation, so the judges could get her for that, but it was a great bar routine.
Starting out the beam for the Aggies, this rotation is going to be Katie Brown.
Yeah, Utah State has kind of had a rough beam lineup these past two meets with having to count 2 falls, which means that their beam team has fallen 3 times in the last 2 meets. Definitely not hoping to repeat that, and hopefully all these gymnasts can stay on the beam tonight.
Really unfortunate for the Aggies, and Katie was one of the 3 that fell last week. It seems like just a mental thing, and they've been good on the beam all season, so we'll see how they overcome it tonight.
Absolutely. So far, so good. It was a very nice, clean series of flick lay. Very nice jump series. They are required to have those jump series, so you need to have 2 jumps connected. For the dismount. Round off, full off, very nice.
Kicking things off on the floor for Boise State is going to be Paige Urquhart.
We got 9-8-5 last week against Boise, so it's a really good score. It's a really solid routine to start off with.
And Boise State as a team is 49.5 in that competition.
First pass, different handspring double full. It's a really difficult skill with the blind landing. You don't see those too often, but she executed it very well. Really strong floor music. Again, it's really nice to see the music and choreography that these girls pick to fit their personalities. There's her second pass. It's a round off 1.5 punch front layout. So lots of connections to get that start value up. You switch half, split full. So you are required enough difficulty in your passes, but you also need a leap series and jumps on floor that will count towards your difficulty in your start value as well. As she heads into her third and final pass. There's a front handspring. Rudy, a little bit of pipe down, so the judges will get her for amplitude and form. There's a great routine by the Broncos.
A little bit of school spirit there with the horse. Angel Zung is going to do be on the beam now for BYU. She's coming off a 9.825, a career high.
Huge amplitude, nice lines, nice tight legs together. Wonderful job for the Cougars.
On the bars for Southern Utah now will be Madison McBride.
She goes straight into her release. Those are called front giants, into a piked Jaeger. It's a very rare skill. Straight into her shoot over. Well, she wasn't in the lineup last week, so she will be new tonight. A double A, a little bit of a hop. Great routine.
Now over to the beam for the Aggies is going to be Ellie Gullison.
Last week, Ellie received a 9.825. She's been a very consistent beam worker for the Aggies, with her average tending to be around that 9.8 score.
And that was the high score for the Aggies last week after taking 2 falls into account.
And Ellie is only a freshman, so we'll be able to see her in the beam lineup for a long time. Here coming up, she has a very unique series. See a lay. Very nice. This is more difficult as you don't have the power that you normally get when putting your hands on the beam. Overall, this has been a very consistent routine and nice and strong. Definitely what the Aggies are looking for on their beam lineup this week. Their dismount. Front full right off the beam. Very nice. Going to bring out a huge score for the Aggies.
Now the floor for Boise State is going to be Shani Remy. Remy, again, the only all-arounder for Boise State tonight.
Shani had a 9-9 last week against Denver to contribute to that 49-5. So Denver is going to have a really strong floor team tonight. She gets ready for her first half. She also does a double full. Now she didn't do the front handspring in front like the last Boise girl, but it was also executed very well, and that won't deduct or take anything off just because she did that first. Another really fun routine here from Boise. We round off back handspring double pike. Beautiful chest up landing. She did have that mat there. Again, that's perfectly okay. Just kind of helps save the girls' ankles and bodies from being worn down competing these difficult routines all season long. The moonwalk. It's a really fun floor routine. Finishing with a whip half Rudy. She did land a little short. You saw her feet bounce behind her. So that is a deduction, but a great routine.
Cheyenne Hill is coming up on the vault for BYU. Cheyenne has competed on the vault in every competition except for the first one of the season for BYU, and she's coming off of a 9.8.
Yurchenko full, very nice slight legs apart on that landing, but very well done.
Now up on bars for Southern Utah is going to be Memory Shettles. Memory's coming off of a 9.85 earlier this week against BYU and a 9.025 prior to that.
Huge release move. Good to Tkachev, connected with a toe circle, straight into a shoot over. She has a lot of connections in this routine, so it'd be really easy for her to get her start value up to that 10-0. To a double layout. Really close to the bar, so the judges can also take for that, but great routine.
Now up on the beam for the Aggies is Haley Sanzati.
Haley Sanzati got a 9.675 last week, hoping to add a few more tenths to her score. Wonderful series, very strong. Definitely what the Aggies are looking for tonight. Very nice jump series, little wobble at the end, but nothing too major. That should only be like a 10th.
I spoke to their coach, Natalie Walsh, and she said that they've had beam practice after beam practice after beam practice this past week after counting so many falls in the last couple weeks, and you can definitely see that paying off with the Utah State Aggies lineup tonight.
Well, the tragedy of it was that last week Utah State really had a very nice all-around performance, except for the beam, but a few falls like that, it's really going to hurt your overall score.
For sure, another great jump series there. Kind of more of a unique full tune there, with her leg and an attitude behind her. Goes with her dismount, gainer full off, very nice. She's so happy with that, and so is her team, they should be.
Now up on floor for Boise State is Mackenzie Benyon, coming off of a 9.9 last week.
Another 9-9 by Boise. Again, most of their routines haven't been below a 9.85, so this is a really strong lineup. opening with a double Arabian, so she'll do a half twist with 2 double French out of it. Again, a blind landing, very difficult skill to start off with. Those are lead series, a little short. The judges are going to be looking for full splits, so it's a complete 180 split on your lead series, and you will get deducted if it isn't 180. So far, a great routine from Boise.
Boise definitely knows how to engage this crowd. Had a lot of upbeat, fun routines coming out.
She gets ready for her last pass. She's kind of taking a breather. The music slows down a little bit so she can catch her breath and get ready for this last pass. Good smile at the judges. She finishes with, again, a whip half front full. Beautiful routine by Mackenzie. And Boise's keeping their streak going strong with these really strong routines.
Now for BYU on the vault is Shannon Hortman. Shannon, a little bit of a tough go earlier this week in 9.175.
Definitely not going to be a 9.175 this week. A little bit of a chest landing. Looked like her knees were locked out, but definitely going to be an improvement from last week.
On the bars for Southern Utah, this is Kirsten Yee.
You see she just did a hop, so she will change the direction of her hands in the middle of her cast, straight into a Jaeger shoot over. That connection. A little short on that handstand. She's also new to the lineup this week. Beautiful double A. Great routine by Southern Utah.
On the beam for Utah State is going to be Bailey McIntyre.
McIntyre hoping to shake off that fall that she had on bars and shaking off that fall that she had last week on beam, but like Destiny said, they've been working hard this week in their beam lineups. She is a really strong mental gymnast, is a senior here at Utah State.
You can see the work paying off on the beam here for the Aggies. Totally different team.
3-part series there, flick, flick, lay. Wonderful job, teammates super excited about that, so is she, and she should be. So far, this has been a great routine for Bailey, definitely something that she needs in this meet. And for dismount, full off with the stick. Wonderful job, so awesome for Bailey and Utah State.
Utah State is really bringing the energy and the scores tonight on beam.
Now up on the floor for Boise State is going to be Ann Stockwell.
She's coming off of a 9.925 last week, so again, another 9.9. So if Boise can keep these scores up, they might hit that 49.5 mark again. She gets ready for her first pass. She's a front handspring, double fold. You see a lot of the Broncos do that. It is a difficult skill. Really unique leap series. They definitely have a lot of upbeat music to keep the girls' energy up and the crowd. So whip half front full, another common pass by Boise, but these girls seem to execute these passes really well. She gets ready for her last pass. The front handspring, 1.5 twist. Great amplitude, great landing. It's a great routine for the Broncos.
Boise State continuing a great night on the floor. Now up on the vault for BYU is going to be Jill Van Mierlo. Jill has had a 9.8 in each of the last 2 meets on the vault.
Definitely some consistent scores coming out for BYU. Very nice Rodchenko full, a little bit pikey on the end. They are looking for that full standing up, but pretty well done from BYU.
Now on the bars for Southern Utah is Bethany Rosa.
Coming off a 9.85 last week against BYU. Beautiful handstand, straight into a blind change. Jaeger, huge release move. The judges really look for amplitude. It's really easy when your skills are that high. It gives the girls a lot more time to see the bar and able to catch those harder releases. Into a double back, little hop, but great routine.
On beam for the Aggies will be Melanie Oster.
Melanie did compete exhibition last week, but she has been a consistent beam lineup this whole season, has competed this whole season on beam. Really nice to see her back up on the beam in the team lineup.
And apparently she impressed in the exhibition and in practice to be able to get her way into the lineup today.
For sure, that was a lovely series. That was an aerial flip. A little bit of a different series than we're used to seeing, but very well executed. Very nice leap series. That leap was 180 degrees it looked like, so there would be no deductions there.
So you see her knees wrapped. She did have a strained MCL. So it's really nice to see these girls come out and still get the job done even when they are injured, and just to see them push through it is great and shows how strong the girls are.
Very confident up there as she's ready to finish her routine. Aerial full off the beam, wonderful job. These Aggies are definitely not having any faults tonight.
Now on floor for Boise State is Sandra Cleantes. Sandra, 9.925 in each of the last two meets for Boise State. Unbelievable scores there.
Yeah, Boise's floor team is really strong. It's always good to have pretty much anything above a 9.8, but when your whole team is consistently scoring in the 9.9s, that's just amazing. It just shows how strong their team is on this event. She opens up with a full in. So she'll go a back tuck with a full twist in the second one. Again, a very difficult skill.
Sandra comes to Boise State all the way from Lima, Peru.
It's always nice to see the diversity that these teams have and how close these girls come over the years competing for the same team. Getting over a second pass. Good smile at the judges. Just kind of lets them know that the girls are having fun and really enjoying their routine, even though they are out there doing such difficult skills. The 1.5 punch layout, the second pass. The music picks back up as she gets ready for her third and final pass. She finishes with a round up back handspring double pike. A little swatty on the landing. It's a really difficult skill to end with. It just shows how difficult skills she can do and still execute them well.
Closing things out this rotation for BYU on the vault is going to be Mackenzie Douglas.
Mackenzie coming off of their highest score last meet on vault with a 9.875. Very nice tuck. Rodchenko 4.5. Very well done.
On bars for Southern Utah will be Sydney Townsend.
She had 9.75 this beginning of this week against BYU. It's one of the lower scores from last week, but BYU has really consistent scores tonight, so hopefully can keep the lineup going strong. A little short on that handstand. You do have to be within 10 degrees of 180. A giant full Ginger. Straight into a shoot over. There's the hit handstand. She gets ready for a dismount. She has a giant full double back. Really beautiful routine.
Closing things out on the beam for Utah State will be Carrie Peel.
Again, Carrie Peel has been a very consistent beam worker for the Aggies. Last week getting a 9.725. Coming up with their series. quick way. Very nice, no wobbles whatsoever. Slight wobble there at the end of that leap series, but nothing to be too worried about. So far, this has been a very clean routine. We've had a few wobbles here and there, but Utah State is definitely having a much better beam week than they've had these past 2 weeks. There's their dismount. Aerial full with a stick. Wonderful Dalbe carry.
And the final performance of this rotation will be done by Abby Webb on the floor. Abby, this is just the 5th performance for her on the floor this season. Last week, a little bit of a tough go and 9.0.
Gets ready for her first pass. She had a 9.0 last week, but to see that she's still in lineup just proves that she's been working hard in the gym. And you can see that in her first pass, beautiful double pike. Great amplitude and height on that with a great landing. Get another fun routine by Boise. There's that leap series. She gets back to the corner for her second pass. There's a front layout, Rudy. So it will be a little bit more intense for bonus because she did that front layout in front. Get that start value up to a 10-0. She's ready for her third pass and final performance of the second rotation. Round up that 10 swing double back. Much better than her 9.0 last week. The Broncos are going to be really happy with this whole entire rotation.
Absolutely. Another exciting high-level rotation there from all 4 teams. Really, we didn't see any major mistakes, any major scripts, just some very good gymnastics from all 4 of the teams.
Absolutely, I don't believe there were any falls during that rotation. Definitely good for every single team out here tonight.
This concludes the second round of competition. Gymnasts, please march to your next event. Boise State will be on all.
We're going to go over the individual scores. For Utah State on the beam, Katie Brown with a 9.7, Ellie Gullison a 9.8, Haley Sanzati 9.9, Bailey McIntyre 9.85, Melanie Oster 9.750, and Carrie Pill a 9.825. So the total beam score for Utah State, 49.125. Now, with this being the conference championship and then regionals coming up in the near future, how important is it not just for the standings and for the overall record and for the RQS, but how important is it for the gymnasts and for their confidence going forward into regionals to have a good performance here tonight?
You definitely want to have a good meet all the time, but since this is the last meet before regionals, it's really important to have a good performance tonight so that you can make it to regionals and just kind of keep those streaks going. Since Natalie Welsh has been here, the Aggies have been to regionals ever since, so you kind of just want to keep that streak going and being a part of that program where it turns around and the team is being ranked in the top 25. It's a really nice thing, so you definitely want to keep that feeling going, and especially for these seniors and on a good season.
The final score that I did leave unannounced was Abby Webb with a 9.9. So Boise State, looking at that floor rotation, able to go through the entire rotation, getting all 9.8s and 9.9s. That's kind of become a norm for them. Really good team on the floor, but now we're going to see up on the floor Utah State, who is another excellent floor team, followed by Southern Utah. And And it just seems like this conference, as I've mentioned earlier, so strong on the bars and so strong on the floor. It's really fun to watch how close head-to-head these teams are against each other, especially in those events.
Utah State does have the Mountaineer Gymnastics Conference floor specialist of the year, being Maddie Ward, so you will get to see her tonight. She's consistently been getting 9.9s with an RQS of a 9.895. So Utah State is definitely one of the stronger floor teams for the conference tonight.
Always a treat to watch her perform. So starting on the vault here, we're going to have Mackenzie Benyon for Boise State.
Very nice
On bars from
vault
Brigham
there.
Young, Natasha
Definitely a good start for Boise State.
Beautiful
Yeah.
Yurchenko half. You don't see those too often anymore, but it is a 9.95 start value as well as those fulls.
Now for Brigham Young, Natasha Trejo is on the bars.
You see she'll start on the high bar for her mount, straight into her major release move, Tkachev. So a clear hit, shoot over, a little short on that handstand. You see her body shape was a little piked in the lower half. She gets ready for her dismount. She does a giant double layout. Beautiful stuck landing, great amplitude on that dismount.
On beam from Southern Utah, Autumn
And
Jorgensen.
the beam for Southern Utah will be Autumn Jorgensen.
Autumn recorded a 9.9 last week, huge scores. Definitely hoping to repeat that again. There's her series. Flick lay, very nice, very solid on that beam. Very nice full turn. Sometimes those can be one of the hardest skills for the gymnasts, just because it is one of those calmer things, and so you gotta calm yourself down and concentrate and really focus on that balance element. Huge leap coming out of that. This split quarter. Definitely hit that 180-degree mark. Very nice front tuck as well. Slight landing towards the right of the beam, but fairly even deductions on that. Definitely is a confident beam worker. Good to start off on the beam. Huge double tuck, very difficult. Great job for the Thunderbirds.
The Aggies are going to kick things off here on the floor with Haley Sanzati. Haley's coming off of a 9.775 in the last competition.
Haley does have a high of a 9.85, so she can get those big scores that we've seen from the Aggies previously this season. Haley's a really sassy gymnast. She shows a lot of confidence in her floor routine. Her tumbling is really high, so make sure you keep an eye out for that tonight. She starts on her first pass. She'll go round out back handspring double pike. Great amplitude, great landing by Haley Sanzati. See big smile on her face towards the judges and all of her teammates. It's her elite series. She's a switch string, split full, into a papa. You see Haley has a lot more of her dance between her first and second pass. So that'll give her a lot more time to get ready for her final passes. She gets ready for her second pass. Front handspring, front layout, front half, straight into elite series. That will give her bonus, and it just kind of helps her control her landings a little bit more. She gets straight into her final pass. She'll finish with a round up back handspring, double back. Little squatty, but that was a great start for the Aggies on floor.
Now on the vault is going to be Shani Remy. Shani has competed on the vault in every competition except for one, and in those, she's gotten a 9.8 or higher every time.
Very nice Yurchenko full, a little bit pikey at the end, but wonderful
On
job.
bars
Good.
from BYU, Mackenzie
On the bars for BYU is now going to be Mackenzie Douglas.
She's coming off of a 9.775 earlier this week against Southern Utah. She did a Ginger. She was really close. You'll see her arms were bent. She had that leg separation, so that would be a big deduction.
Now BYU is the 18th ranked team nationally on the bars. Very solid bars team for the Cougars.
Great height on that dismount. Definitely recovered from that release move.
Now on the beam for SUU will be Kirsten Yee.
Kirsten is coming off of a recorded 9.925 last week. Huge score. Definitely had a good beam lineup last week. Hoping to keep that up again. Very nice. Front element there. Good jump series, little tiny wobble out of that. Those wobbles can be up to 1 to 3 tenths deduction, just depending on how big they are. Very nice front layout. Straight down to a flick down to the beam. They are required to have an element where their feet are below the beam. Comes their dismount. Very nice few steps off of that. Had a few wobbles here and there, but hopefully not too much for deductions.
Now for the Aggies is Carrie Peel. The senior has been in and out of the floor lineup for the Aggies this season, but is coming off of a season-high 9.775.
Really fun upbeat routine for Carrie Peel. Get ready for her first pass. She opens with a round off 2.5 twists. It's one of the more difficult skills to open up with and just to have in your routine in general. Will definitely help her execution difficulty level for her 10-0 start value. Carrie is also a really fun gymnast to watch. She has really big skills and great lines. She has a front handspring, front Rudy. Again, great amplitude to test up on that landing. Now on floor, you are allowed to have that one step into your lunge out of your pass, so that won't count against them. But if they do any more than that, it's a 10th for every step. She's ready for her last pass. The teammates are really excited for her in the corner to finish this floor routine up. Finishes with the 1.5 punch front layout. Beautiful stuck last pass by Carrie Peel. It's a great floor routine.
On vault now for Boise State is Mary Francis Burr. Mary is a vault specialist and is averaging 9.85 on the season.
See a huge vault coming out of her, front handspring entrance vault. Definitely a more difficult entrance vault, but very well executed.
Now on bars for BYU will be Shannon Hortman.
One of their stronger bar workers coming off of a 9.875. Goes giant full straight into a Ginger. Good distance. She was able to see that bar. Little arm bend on that pass. She did have to save it. She gets ready for her dismount. It's a beautiful double A stuck landing. Will definitely make up for that little wobble in her calf.
Now on the beam for Southern Utah is Tylee Bizzuto.
Bizzuto kind of coming off with a rough week last week with a 9.3.
Southern Utah is used to seeing 9.875s, 9.85s, 9.9s from Tylee, but a little bit of a rough week. Looks like she's bouncing back nicely though.
Comes their series. Flip glaze. Pretty big wobble out of that. Kind of pike it down a little bit. Very nice full turn. Huge straddle jump series. So far, Tylee is looking really confident up on that beam. She's had a few wobbles. Very nice full gainer off the side of the beam. Definitely very consistent.
Now up for Utah State on the floor is Bailey McIntyre.
Bailey McIntyre, senior. Again, her last performance in the Spectrum tonight. She has been competing all around the last couple of weeks here for Utah State. She is ready for her first pass. Run off that handspring, double back. Again, great amplitude. Judges are really looking for that height that the Aggies have been showing tonight. Front handspring, front full, front layout. Again, beautiful landing. Bailey McIntyre really showing off her personality tonight. Points to the crowd and reels them in. Definitely a really high energy, fun routine for the Aggies.
You can tell the home fans love her. She does a good job interacting with the fans.
She does. She has a great smile. There's that USU that the teammates yell in every girls' floor routine, so you can definitely look out for that. She gets ready for her final pass. She ends with a more difficult pass. She'll finish with a round off back handspring double pike. Great routine by Bailey McIntyre. The crowd is going crazy over that floor routine.
Very nice job done by Bailey.
Now for Boise State on the vault is Sarah Means. Sarah's been in and out of the vaulting lineup, but got a 9.9 last week.
Your chain go full and a half. Pretty big step out of that. It will probably be about a 3/10 deduction.
And bars now for BYU is Brittany Hawes.
She had a 9.575 last week, so a little bit of wobbles there. Hopefully she worked on those in the gym and can recover from that. She starts off her routine. Giant full, straight into a ginger. Now again, she was too far away and she did miss that release. So she can either choose to restart it or just continue where she left off. It looks like she's just gonna keep going on with her routine.
I hate to see that, especially in a big meet like this.
It's really hard to recover mentally when that happens, especially when your team has been doing so well. But hopefully the rest of her teammates for this lineup can just finish strong for her and kind of just help her and support her out of this fall. She finishes with a beautiful double layout. Stuck landing, so hopefully BYU can drop that score.
Now on the beam for Southern Utah is Stacy Webb, and Stacy is coming off of the first ever perfect 10 in Southern Utah history last week.
Huge score. Pretty much perfection. We're expecting perfection from Stacy Webb.
It's going to be fun to see how she follows that up. Only the second perfect 10 in Mountain Rim history.
It's definitely a huge record. And that series right there proved why she got that perfect 10 last week. That was a very solid flick lay series. A 10 is definitely something judges just don't give away. Very rare that we see those 10s, and like you said, we've only seen 10 in Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference history.
Two. Something that's interesting about it is Southern Utah's head coach, Scott Bauman, said that he was actually in the restroom when the perfect 10 happened, and so he wasn't even able to see it.
Oh, kind of bummer.
Talk about timing.
I don't think he'll be missing today's performance.
So far, great routine.
You don't get a perfect 10 without confidence like Stacy Webb has.
Absolutely. She definitely has a lot of confidence. Huge dismount, another great score. SU is so happy with that.
Now up for Utah State on the floor is Ellie Gullison.
Ellie's a freshman, but she's definitely a powerhouse for this team. She opens up with a huge double layout, which is a very difficult and rare skill. Just want to watch for the height and the confidence in this floor routine tonight. Here comes that first pass. Run up by handspring, huge double layout. Big hop out of it, so she will get a deduction, and the judge did raise her hand, so she did go out of bounds. So she will get at least 2 tenths for that pass, so that will hurt her score a little bit. Hopefully the Aggies drop this score. Another great smile to the judges. Kind of slows down a little bit just to get a little bit more energy for these last 2 passes. Ready here for the second pass. Sorry, last pass. Front full. Great routine by Ellie.
On vault from Boise State.
Now up on the vault for Boise State is Courtney McGregor. Courtney coming off of a 9.9 on the vault.
Yurchenko, 4.5, huge altitude on that. Very well done.
Now on the bars for the Cougars is Jessie Westergaard.
Coming off a 9.8 against Southern Utah. She has great handstands. Straight into a ginger. She was a little close, so she will get deducted for those bent arms. She did go straight to her shoot over, so I'll get her quite a bit of bonus. Really rare dismount. Another fall by BYU. She did a Arabian double front. She did over-rotate and roll out of it.
Now on the beam for Southern Utah is Karen Gonzalez.
Gonzalez is also coming off of a little bit of a rough week. He received a 9.225 last week against BYU, excuse me. Huge layout step out to start it off. Very difficult to start from a standing since you don't get that power. Very nice jump series. Very nice full turn. Very confident so far. The front layout step out to a flick step out. A little bit of wobble out of that front step out. The judges really want to see a really smooth transition to count it as a connection. For dismount, full off, slight step, but another huge score that's probably going to come out for SUU.
Now for Utah State on the floor is Michaela Bullitt.
Well, Michaela has been in and out of lineups this season. So it's good to see her back in lineup at the end of this season. She is a freshman.
Now Michaela exhibition last week and picked up a 9.275. So she must have done something in practice where the coaches really felt confident putting her in the lineup today.
Starting up her first pass with a front handspring. Double full. She's leaning a little bit back on her landing, so they could get her for amplitude. But overall, it was a great landing. The energy really picks up in her floor routine. She's ready for her second pass. So a front handspring, front full, front pike. Great amplitude on every single one of those passes in there. It's really fun, a little bit of a worm for Michaela. Michaela will also finish with a double back. Run up back handspring, double pike. Again, a little bit squat down on that landing, so she will get deducted for amplitude, but she hit the routine, and that's what matters at this point in the competition.
Coming up on the ball for Boise State is Ann Stockwell. Ann is coming off of a 9.825 last week.
Can't go 4.5. That was a fall because she sat, so that will be a 5-tenth deduction. Hopefully that Boise State will be able to drop that score.
Now on bars for for BYU is Jill Van Mierlo. BYU's taken a couple of falls in the last two gymnasts on bars, so Jill hoping to close this out strong for BYU.
This is her release move. She is one of the stronger gymnasts, coming off of a 9.875. She did miss that handstand after her release move. But she's staying on the bar and definitely turning the energy around from the last two girls that did have falls. She gets ready for her dismount. Tried to stick it, a little bit of a step there. Could get half a tenth deduction, but great routine.
Now on beam for Southern Utah is Cameron Bear.
Bear received a 9.825 last week. Very good score. Round off layout step out. A little bit of a wobble there. Definitely a harder dismount. Or a harder series there. Another wobble out of that full turn. It was really a mental event where you really got to make sure that you're confident on it, and that was a very nice front tuck. Very nice straddle quarter there. Did hit that full 180-degree straddle, so that will not be a deduction on that. And gainer off the side of beam for the dismount. Very nice dismount.
Closing things out in this rotation on the floor is going to be Madison Ward for the Aggies. Now, enough good things cannot be said about Madison Ward and what she's done this season. I believe she's the 7-time floor specialist of the week for the Mountain Range Gymnastics Conference. Yes. And as you mentioned, the floor specialist of the year.
She is. Maddie has huge tumbling passes. As you'll see in this first pass, she's round up that handspring, pull in, beautiful amplitude and chest up. You can see why she's been getting these 9.9 scores. Judges really look for difficulty, but they also look for amplitude, and Maddie has that in every single one of her passes. Gets ready for her second pass. She's a round up 1.5 punch front full. Again, huge 1.5 followed by a front full. Almost walk under her front full. It's huge.
Maddie definitely has super clean landings, which also help.
You can see the crowd's definitely getting into her floor routine. Even the other schools are clapping for Maddie's tumbling passes. Deep series right into her third and final tumbling pass.
Maddie is just a sophomore, so a couple more years of this for Utah State.
Finishes with a round up back handspring, huge double back. There's that stuck landing. That was a great routine for the Aggies. Way to finish this third rotation off.
The Aggies love that routine.
You can hear the crowd chanting her name even. Maddie's a celebrity here in the Spectrum. What a phenomenal gymnast.
You can hear them chanting 10s. Again, those are really rare, so we'll see what the judges do. But
you never know.
Again, your floor specialist of the year.
So, ladies, 3 rotations down, 1 left to go. What are your impressions on that third rotation, what we saw there?
It was a great third rotation. Again, BYU did have 2 falls. So you can see the pressure maybe getting to them a little bit, and they are finishing on beam, one of the harder events to finish on. So hopefully they can recover from those falls and just kind of move on to the next event. Boise with some huge vault scores, as well as Utah State on floor.
SUU was a little bit shaky on beam, had a few wobbles, but nothing too major.
Stick around after the final rotation of today's meet for a special MRGC Championship Award ceremony. The ceremony will begin after a brief intermission following the final rotation.
Going over scores from this rotation. Utah State, Haley Sanzotti with a 9.75. Carrie Peel, a 9.8. Bailey McIntyre, 9.85. Ellie Gullison, a 9.725. Michaela Bullitt, 9.725. And Maddie Ward finishing things off with a 9.9. A floor score of 48.95 for the Aggies. I'm sorry, 49.025 for the Aggies. Absolutely.
Very nice, huge amplitude.
Now for Boise State on the bars is Ann Stockwell. Ann is coming off of a 9.825 against Denver.
Big release move there, Shida Ginger. Good handstand. She is one of the taller gymnasts, so that can make this event a little bit more difficult, but it does make her lines look a lot cleaner. She gets ready for her dismount. Show a giant, full twisting double back. That's great routine for the Broncos.
Now on the beam for BYU will be Brianna Pearson.
Fun way to get up on the beam there. A lot of the time you just see the gymnast just hop right up there and get started. Huge aerial to split jump. Very nice connection there. This has been a very good, consistent routine that BYU has kicked off. Here's her series. Flick lay. Very nice save. Even though her hands touch the beam, that will be quite a big deduction. But it just shows your coaches and your teammates that you're willing to fight to land on the beam and not give away those falls. Very nice leap series with those 180-degree splits. Hoping for a dismount. Round off full and a half. Pretty big hop off of there.
On the floor from Southern Utah, Karen Gonzalez.
Now up on the floor for the Thunderbirds, Karen Gonzalez.
Karen's coming off of a 9.825. It's one of those strong floor routines. Some really fun beats in the floor music. She gets ready for her first pass. So a round out back handspring double back. Kind of an uncontrolled landing. They do only want your lunge to be shoulder length apart, so she might get a deduction for having too big of a lunge, a little bit uncontrolled landing. It's a really fun floor routine to watch. second pass. The front layout, front full. Pretty common pass, executed very well. Really clean lines and clean legs on that second pass. Just shows how good her cardio is. She has a really upbeat routine, and she still has to do these 3 tumbling passes, just so she's got really good adrenaline going for this full routine. Finishes with a front 1.5, it's called a Rudy. It's a great start for SUU on the floor exercise.
Up next on the vault for Utah State will be Maddie Ward. Maddie is coming off of a 9.6 last week. So a little bit of room for improvement, but she's done well throughout the entire season.
Another Yurchenko full, very nice. Definitely going to be a good score coming out for the Aggies.
And now on bars for Boise State is Sandra Coyantes.
She had a 9.9 last week. Seems like Boise State is really strong on every event. They have consistent 9.9s and 9.85s. It's great release.
And best of all for Boise State is the bars here. As I mentioned, 5th in the entire country.
You can see they have beautiful handstands, beautiful shapes and form. Beautiful double layout. Little stumble on that landing, but it was a great routine.
Now up on the beam for the Cougars is Hannah Miller.
Hannah Miller sort of coming off of a rough week last week with a 9.025 on beam.
BYU as a school struggled a little bit last week on beam. Just a 48.225 for the team. That was one of their lower scores of the season. Hoping to bounce back tonight when it really matters.
So far this routine is looking very strong on the beam. Hasn't really had any major wobbles coming out. Looking very strong and confident up there. Definitely what you want to see coming out from BYU's beam lineup. For a gainer full dismount. Pretty big step off the end of there, but overall a better routine than their first.
Now on the floor for Southern Utah is Tylee Bizzuto. Tylee just a 9.3 last week, but she's had 3 9.875s this season. She's perfectly capable of those big scores.
Gets right into her first pass. Round back handspring, double back. Great height and great landing. Big smile on her face. It's always nice when you can tell the gymnast know that was a really good pass to start off with. So gets ready for her second pass. So the front layout, front full. Similar routine to the previous girl. Such fun routines by Southern Utah. Lots of personality that each girl puts into their own routine.
Even the SUU crowd getting in with this routine. You know, the choreography definitely have some good loyal supporters coming out tonight.
Ready for her last pass here. Energy still really high. She'll be finishing with a round off back handspring double pike. It's a beautiful, beautiful routine by Tylee.
The third gymnast up on the vault for the Aggies is going to be Ellie Gullison.
Again, Ellie Gullison is a huge power gymnast. Has a lot of power inside of her, so we're looking for a huge amplitude vault here. Very nice. That is a 10.0 start value, so it's going to be awesome for the Aggies.
Now up on bars for Boise State is Courtney McGregor. Again, Courtney represented New Zealand in the 2016 Rio Olympics, and she's just been phenomenal as a freshman for Boise State. 9.95 last week on the bars.
Such a unique skill.
That was her 5th 9.9 or higher of the season.
That skill was called a shaposh. Really unique name. She goes from the low bar to the high bar in a different direction than normal. Beautiful dismount. You can see why she was Olympian.
Now up on the beam for BYU is going to be Cheyenne Hill.
Cheyenne Hill coming off with a pretty good score from last week with a 9.75. Ready for her series. Flick away, slight wobble, but is able to hold on to it. Very nice leap series there. I'm sure BYU right now is just looking to stay on that beam and trying not to give away any tenths so far. Definitely some fun dance elements that we're seeing there up on the beam. Again, it's another event kind of similar to floor where you're able to show off your personality a little bit. Very nice front toss into that stag jump. Dismount full, very nice to a stick. Cougars should love that, and they do.
And now for Southern Utah on the floor is Autumn Jorgensen. Autumn has recorded a 9.95 on 2 occasions this season and is not used to seeing anything that's not near 9.9s.
And Southern being a really strong floor team, opening with a huge double pike. No hesitation, right into the rest of the routine.
As I mentioned, Southern Utah, the 9th nationally ranked floor team. So you know they're going to bring it every single week.
Straight into our front layout, front full. Seems to be a common toss for the T-Birds, but they execute these routines really well. As Jason said, 9th ranked team. All these routines are really high energy. It seems like these girls have no downtime. They're just go, go, go. So she gets ready for her 3rd pass. Doing a round off back handspring, double back. The T-Birds keep up the power and the amplitude on the floor exercise.
Now halfway through the final rotation tonight, Katie Brown's going to be up on the vault for Utah State. Katie coming off of a 9.2 last week, but has been very consistent in the previous meets of the season.
Katie Brown with the Yurchenko full half. Very well done, very nice and tight, straight lines on that vault.
On the bars for Boise State is now Mackenzie Binion.
Mackenzie's coming off of a 9.875. Beautiful lines. There's that shaposh again. Straight into a clear hip. And there is a fall. She hit her handstand, but she was too far over and did come off the bar, so that will count as a fall for Boise. That might just be the window that Utah State was looking for. Dismount, double layout. Again, a couple steps forward. Hopefully Boise will be able to drop that score and keep the power going.
Now up on the beam for BYU is Shannon Hortman. Shannon having a pretty nice all-around night so far for BYU. 9.775 on the vault, 9.825 on the bars, and 9.85 on the floor.
Definitely tell that she's a consistent, solid gymnast for BYU. Little wobble there on that full turn. Again, that full turn is a pretty difficult skill, although it looks pretty easy to do. Just takes a lot of balance, and it's definitely one of the more balanced elements. Very nice front toss there. was a little bit of a low split jump there. Couldn't quite hit that full 180 degrees that we're looking for. Gainer full off the side. Very nice stick for the Cougars.
From Southern Utah, Stacy.
Coming up on the floor for Southern Utah is Stacy Webb.
Stacy is new to the floor lineup from last week. She opens with a huge double pike. Southern's had great landings and great amplitude on their floor routines. Again, you can see why they're ranked so high on this event.
Stacy Webb did not perform against BYU in the previous meet, but has in every other meet so far this season.
Front full front pike. Very clean tumbling by Stacy. Great lines. Until she's really tight and doesn't want to give anything away.
It's definitely a fierce routine.
She gets ready for her last pass. She'll finish with a huge front Rudy. This is going to be a great score for Southern Utah.
And now the fifth gymnast of the evening on the vault for the Aggies, Miranda Hone.
Looking for a huge vault from Miranda Hone. This will be a 10.0 start value vault. Yurchenko half on. Entrance into that vault. Slight step there at the end.
And on the bars for Boise State, Shani Remy. We were talking about Shannon Hortman for BYU and having a great all-around night. Shani Remy's having an excellent night. 9.8 on the vault, 9.9 on the bars, and 9.8 on the floor. Hoping to continue that here.
Beautiful clean routine. Great handstands. You can see Boise definitely puts detail into every little thing. Beautiful stick by Shani.
On the beam from BYU, Natasha Trejo.
Up on the beam for BYU is Natasha Trejo.
Natasha again coming off of a huge score from last week with a 9.8 or 9.85. BYU hoping to deliver clean, solid routines on beam. Foot was slightly off there, but she was able to recover that. So she's definitely a well-seasoned gymnast that she was able to control her body and be able to know how to fix that to avoid that fall. These are serious flick lay. Again, very nice, very solid on that beam. There's that full turn. They are required to have that full turn, as you've seen in every girl's routine. Very nice leap pass there. Again, that was a blind landing as well on that leap pass. Her head was back in that. Just a little bit more difficulty and very nice dismount. Cougars have definitely had some good landings on their dismounts tonight.
Madison Blake Howard.
Madison Blake Howard coming onto the floor for Southern Utah. Madison only recently found her way into the lineup for BYU, or for Southern Utah, that has been phenomenal since entering it. 9.925, 9.85, 9.9, excellent gymnast.
Beautiful 2.5 punch front. It's a really difficult skill. You don't see that too often. Again, another high energy routine.
We've definitely seen some huge, high energy, fun routines from all these teams tonight. SU bringing the fire out there tonight.
It's always nice to see these huge powerhouse routines followed up with huge tumbling passes. Southern's been bringing all of the most difficult skills in these floor routines. and they just keep it going throughout the night. She's getting ready for her second pass. Beautiful, Rudy. She's definitely a front tumbler. But you saw she did only have 2 passes, and that's okay because her routines were difficult enough to get that 10 start value.
And closing things out for the evening for Utah State is going to be Michaela Bullitt on the vault.
Michaela has been in exhibition the past 5 meets.
It actually was a lineup change. Bailey McIntyre was supposed to be in lineup. And they put Michaela in last minute for that 1.5.
The teammates love that.
She definitely delivered on that vault there.
Now on the bars for Boise State is going to be Diana Mejia.
Again, coming off of a 9-9. See these great handstands into a giant full. Straight into her ganger. Good recover from that fall that Mackenzie had. Again, beautiful handstands. She gets ready for the second half of her routine to her dismount. She does a layout with this. It's amazing dismount for Boise.
Now for BYU, the final gymnast on the beam is going to be Jill Van Mierlo.
Jill also having a rough meet last week, recording an 8.6. Pretty low score. Definitely hoping not to repeat that this week and be able to stay on and be confident on that beam. Comes her series. Flick lay. Slight wiggle out of that, but that was a huge flick lay. Lots of amplitude on that. So far, this has been a great routine for the Cougars. Definitely something that they needed. Great leap pass, very solid, hitting those 180-degree splits. Ariel with some huge wobbles out of that, but she was able to save it. For another dismount. Again, we see that gainer full. Very well done.
The final performance of the night is going to be Virginia Brownsell on the floor for Southern Utah.
She's coming off of a 9.25. So she had some falls on this event last week, but was able to clean it up in the gym and prove that she's still able to be in lineup. The first pass. Front Rudy, great amplitude. Her legs did cross over a little bit. That can be deduction for a form break, but great amplitude and landings. Second pass. This is a front full, front layout. Again, really good front tumbler. You can hear the crowd chanting SEU in her floor routine. They have such a good fan base behind them on this event. She gets ready for her final pass, the final routine of the night. Finishing with a huge double pike. She did go out of bounds. The judge did raise her hand, so that will be a 10th off her final score, but great routine.
All right, final rotation in the books. We saw some very high level performances, especially over there on the bars from Boise State. Great performance on the floor from Southern Utah there. What do you take out of that rotation?
That was definitely a pretty good rotation. Good way to end off this championship meet. Definitely going to be interesting to see what the scores are. I'm super anxious to see how close this meet was. Can't wait to see what's coming out with these teams.
A few wobbles from BYU and a couple falls, but these teams were not giving anything away. They gave it their all tonight. You could definitely see that in the gymnastics.
Absolutely.
One thing to mention, we didn't mention it on vault, but Michaela Bullitt wasn't supposed to be in that anchor spot. It was actually supposed to be Bailey McIntyre.
She came out and had a great performance anyway, though.
Yes, that is a vault that starts at a 10-0 as opposed to Bailey's, who would have been a 9.95. So they did take that risk putting it in, but she did great.
We are getting final scores tallied up. Look over some of the individual scores, though, from that round. For Utah State, Jasmine Estrella, a 9.75. Madison Ward, a 9.8. Ellie Gullison, 9.8. Katie Brown, 9.775. Miranda Hone, 9.775. And Michaela Bullitt, a 9.8. On the bars for Boise State and Stockwell, a 9.85. Sandra Coyantes, a 9.875. Courtney McGregor, a 9.9. Mackenzie Benyon, 8.95. Shani Remy, 9.875. And Diana Mejia, 9.95. For Brigham Young, Brianna Pearson, a 9.45. Hannah Miller, 9.75. Cheyenne Hill, 9.8. Shannon Hortman, 9.8. Natasha Trejo, a 9.8. And Jill Van Mierlo, 9.575. And on the floor for Southern Utah, Karen Gonzalez, a 9.825. Kylie Bazzuto, 9.875. Autumn Jorgensen, Stacy Webb, and Madison Blake Howard, all with 9.9s. And Virginia Brownsell with a 9.8. So 3 9.9s there on the floor for Southern Utah.
Huge scores for Southern Utah. Definitely something to be happy about if you were Southern Utah and those Thunderbirds.
Overall, this was a great performance, great competition by every team. The competition was close the whole way. Few errors from each team, but not too many that they had to count. You could definitely see that the girls are having so much fun in this conference championship.
Absolutely. Looks like things just getting set up. They're gonna have an awards ceremony here in just a moment as the judges are getting things tallied up and ready to go.
Again, you see that award stand there. Because this is a gymnastics championship, they will award special awards to those girls who performed exceptionally well on all the events and win the event titles.
The scores for the final rotation: Southern Utah on the floor with a 49.375. USU on the vault, 48.95. Boise State on the bars, 49.45. And Brigham Young University on the beam with a 48.725. Now, worth mentioning is that Utah State's beam score of 49.125, that was the 8th best beam score in school history and the highest that they've ever recorded in a championship meet. So Utah State, it seems like when they needed it and in the events where they've struggled a little bit, especially the beam, they really stepped up this week and were able to come out and have a strong performance.
Yes, these final weeks in practice are really tough just because the coaches make the assignments more tough, more to get you prepared for postseason. So it might have been a little bit more difficult in the gym, but you can definitely tell it paid off here at the competition tonight.
And how cool is it for a gymnast who has spent so much time around these other teams in the region or in the conference where there's only 4 teams and they see each other 2 times a year? How cool is it for them to be able to see each other one more time here at the regional or at the conference championship?
It's really nice to see them again. You do get used to competing with these teams and seeing these girls, so you do know how well of gymnasts they are. But it's also great to get to that regionals point where you're competing with teams you've never competed with before, or have only competed with once in your whole career. So it'll definitely be exciting for these teams to see where they get seeded for regionals and see what teams they'll be competing against next.
So again, Boise State coming in here, ranked number 11 in the country, hoping to help that ranking a little bit as we enter the regional competition coming up next week. Southern Utah sitting right at number 8, sitting right at number 20, right at number 19. Sorry, I was looking at all my papers, sitting right at number 19, needing to get into the top 18 if they want to have a little bit of an easier path to make it to the national championship. Utah State coming in number 23, and BYU coming in at number 32. Really, it's been such a pleasure to see, though, 4 teams that are so familiar with each other, 4 teams that are so good at competing with one another and have that little bit of a rivalry there, a little bit of a chip on the shoulder against each other, and 4 teams that are in the, some of the elite teams in the entire country.
It's been nice to see these teams improve over the past couple of years. I remember when I was a freshman and sophomore, a lot of these teams weren't even close to the top 25, and now to see 3 of them in the top 25 and then BYU right behind in top 36, it's amazing to see how these programs have developed and gotten so much better the last couple of years as new girls come in and the older girls leave.
Yeah, the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference, even though just 4 teams and entirely located right around Utah, has really emerged as one of the top gymnastics conferences in the country. Obviously, there's the SEC, who has constantly 6 or 7 teams near the top 25, and there's some other larger conferences that have done so well, but for the entire conference, all 4 teams to be right there towards the national rankings is really amazing.
I definitely think people look at this conference as a underdog, but then they come out and to see most of them ranked top 36 and having those chances to go to regionals definitely proves that these teams can stand with schools like SOC and Big Ten and Pac-12. So to see these teams evolve just over the years and see how much better they're going to get as these younger girls come up in their second half of their college careers is going to be really great to see.
And another thing that's worth noting is there's so many young gymnasts in this conference as well. Really, I mean, there are a few teams that have 4 or 5 seniors that compete regularly, but for the most part, it seems like there are just so many freshmen and sophomores in this conference, and we're going to see over the next few years it just continue to evolve. See some of these freshmen that are going to become even better gymnasts than they already are, and I just feel like in the next couple of years, maybe we're going to see all 4 teams in the top 25. Maybe we're going to see teams climb even higher than where Boise State is at 11 and see teams break into that top 10, and you just never know.
Absolutely. Not only are there a lot of these young teams and freshman teams, but the freshmen and sophomore are consistently delivering good, solid routines that have high difficulty in them. And so if this trend keeps up and the more freshmen that they bring in are at that level of our freshmen currently, and it's going to be nice to see where these programs grow and what they end up becoming.
Absolutely. So things just getting put together here. There's a lot of commotion, a lot of things going on with a tournament like this. 4 teams, but to get through it in the amount of time that we have, go from performance to performance and fly through it. It's really been an action-packed couple of hours here.
Absolutely. All these teams are anxiously waiting to get up there and get those awards that they have well deserved tonight. I think each team tonight has definitely risen to a next level of gymnastics and have proven why this conference is so awesome, and hopefully it'll just get better from here and get powerful and great.
Now, Destiny, you've gone through this whole process before of going through the preseason, going through the conference season, competing in the conference championship, and then going on to regionals. So for these girls that are here tonight, what's next?
So next up is regionals for the seniors on all of these teams. It will be their last competitions for most of them. So it kind of is just seeing how all your hard work from when you started as a little girl, some of these girls starting at 3 or 4 years old, to finishing their whole entire gymnastics career. It's to see how much work and it being paid off, and basically what you learned over these years that you can take with you into real life, because for most of these girls, gymnastics is everything. So to see them grow and evolve into these people with all these lessons that gymnastics has taught them, it's going to be great. And just to have one more meet in postseason where they get to show it off is going to be great and really emotional.
How does the intensity change in a practice between this and preparing for that regional championship?
So regionals is a little bit more strict because it is hosted by NCAA, so there's a lot more rules and a lot more difficulty in the process of the meet. So they do practice that a lot in the gym, but as far as skills and routines in the gym, it'll be the exact same assignments, maybe a little bit more conditioning just so they can get through it, because there is a bye week most likely. But just to practice those little things such as distractions, and you have to stand in certain spots and your coaches can only stand in certain spots, just practicing those little things will help these girls in the next couple weeks.
I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how each of these teams do on the national stage. Should be fun to watch. So it looks like we're just getting ready for the final results to be announced. Once again, a really good crowd here. Fun to see fans of each and every team. Logan being really central to all four of these schools. Seems like a lot of fans were able to make it up and celebrate this regional or this conference championship with all these teams.
It was definitely fun to see all the support that each of the teams brought, especially SUU. They really had a lot of energy. Along with all the other teams, Boise and BYU really brought out some really good crowds tonight. And it was really fun to see each of them interact with each of the teams and each of the gymnasts.
We welcome the competitors back onto the floor to announce the all-conference finishers in each event. Individual awards.
We're now going to announce the all-conference finishers in every event.
Gymnastics Conference Championship Trophy. All conference citations will be awarded as follows. Gymnastics finishing 4th through 6th will be awarded second team. And gymnastics finishing 1st through 3rd will be awarded.
So there's a bit of a breakdown for these awards. There's second team and first team all conference championships. Second team will be 4th through 6th place, and first team will be 1st through 3rd place. So you will see a lot of awards tonight, but overall it's going to be 1st through 6th place on each event.
For third, it's going to be Angel Zhang from Brigham Young University.
Also tying for third.
Also tying in third place.
And first team all conference from Boise State, Courtney McGregor.
From Boise State is Courtney McGregor.
Also tying for third with a score of 9.8.
And also tying for third.
All conference from Boise State.
Again, from Boise State, Mary Frances Pearl.
So because there is so many ties for third, that will take place of 3rd through 6th place. So all of these girls will be first team conference.
Boise State, Shani Remy.
And now from Boise State, Shani Remy.
Also tying for third with a score of 9.8.
Also tying for third.
From Southern Utah, Virginia Brownsell.
Southern Utah is Virginia Brownsell. There's not enough room on that third place podium.
That just shows how good these girls are and how they compare to each other.
From Utah State, Michaela
And from
Bullock.
Utah State, Michaela Bullock.
Nice to see a little bit of mixture from every team up there on the podium.
Entering first team all conference from Utah State, Ellie
Also
Gullison.
from Utah State, Ellie Gullison.
Also tying for third with a score of 9.8.
Great to see a couple freshmen there for Utah
First team
State.
all conference from Utah State, Madison
And
Ward.
also from Utah State, Madison Ward.
There's those young girls that we were talking about, 2 freshmen and a sophomore from Utah
With a
State.
score of 9.825. Entering
For
team all
first
conference
place.
from BYU, Mackenzie Douglas.
From BYU, Mackenzie Douglas.
And also tying for first place.
Also tying for first place.
Entering first team all conference from Boise State.
From
Sarah
Boise State,
Means.
Sarah Means. Great photo opportunity here.
For your all conference vaulters.
As you mentioned, a lot of young faces on that stage, and a lot of faces we're going to see up there, I think, again next year at this time. as great as the team recognition it is, it's cool to see some individual recognition for these gymnasts as well.
They don't do individual awards throughout the year, so this is a good chance for these girls to be recognized for their work all through season.
Now for the bars, in third place, Ann Stockwell from Boise State.
Also with a score of 9.850, tying for 6th place and earning second team all-conference from Southern Utah, Becky Rosa.
Also from Southern Utah, Becky Rosa.
There's a three-way tie for 3rd place, earning first team all-conference with a score of 9.875 from Boise State.
Like a three-way tie for 3rd place.
Remy.
From Boise State, Shani Remy.
Also with a score of 9.875, tying for 3rd place, and first team all-conference from Boise State.
Also tying for 3rd from Boise State, Sandra Coyantes.
And with a score of 9.875, tying for 3rd place, and first team all-conference
And also
from Utah State,
tying for
Carrie
3rd place
Peel.
from Utah State, Carrie Peel.
Placing second with a score of 9.9.
Second in the event.
And earning first team all-conference from Boise State, Courtney
From Boise State,
McGregor.
Courtney McGregor.
And your uneven parallel bars champion.
And the
with a score
champion
of
on the
9.950,
uneven parallel bars.
earning first team all-conference from Boise State University,
From Boise State,
Mejia.
Diana Mejia.
It's really nice to see the competition throughout the meet the whole time, and then these girls get up on the podium together, and it's like they've been friends forever.
Absolutely.
Uneven parallel bars.
Great photo opportunity, great chance for them to get up there together and be recognized for all of their excellent work. Now for balance beam, tying in 6th place
From Boise State,
Diana Mejia.
Also with a score of 9.
Also tying for 6th place
Tying for 6th place, earning second team all-conference from Utah State, Bailey
from
McIntyre.
Utah State, Bailey McIntyre.
On balance beam, we have a 5-way tie for first place. With a
There's
score
a
of
5-way tie
9.90.
for first place on the
Earning
beam.
first team all-conference from Boise State, Alex Esmerian.
From Boise State, Alex Esmerian.
Also with a score of 9.9, first team all-conference, tying for first place from Boise State,
From
Sarah
Boise
Means.
State, Sarah Means.
Also with a score of 9.9, tying for first place, and first team
Also in first
all-conference
place.
from Boise State, Shani Remy.
And also from Boise State, Shani Remy.
Also with a score of 9.9, tying for first place, and first team all-conference from
Also
Southern
in first
Utah,
place from Southern
Stacey
Utah,
Webb.
Stacy Webb.
And lastly, with a score of 9.9, tying for first place, and first team
And also
all-conference
tying
from
in
Utah
first
State,
place
Haley
from Utah
Sanzari.
State, Haley Sanzati.
We've been talking about the freshmen being up there, but it's good to see some Utah State seniors up there with Bailey McIntyre and Haley Zanzati.
Absolutely.
We saw Carrie Peel on bars too, so it's good to see how diverse the talent is in Utah State.
A few gymnasts that'll very much be missed. Now for the floor.
Score of 9.875 from Boise State, Mackenzie Benyon.
From Boise State, Mackenzie Benyon.
We have a 5-way tie for first place with scores of
And
9.900.
a 5-way tie for first place
team
on the floor.
all-conference from Boise State, Abby
From
Webb.
Boise State, Abby Webb.
Also with a score of 9.9, first team all-conference from Southern Utah,
From
Madison
Southern
Blake
Utah,
Howard.
Madison Blake Howard.
Also with a score of 9.9, earning first team all-conference from Southern Utah, Stacy Webb.
From Southern Utah, Stacy Webb.
Also Also with a score of 9.9, earning first team all-conference.
Also in first place from Southern Utah, Autumn Jorgensen.
And one more time for
Lastly,
first place with 9.9.
tying for first place.
Tying for championship and first team all-conference from Utah State University.
From Utah
Madison
State is
Ward.
Madison Ward. Now, another thing that's neat is to see how many of these girls are up here for multiple different times. It's a very well-balanced gymnast in the conference as well.
The talent in
One
this
more round
conference
of applause
is
for all
just
conference floor routines.
up to level and very amazing.
And now your all-around results. Finishing in third place.
Now they're going to announce
with
the
a
all-around
score of
results. In third place
38.7
tonight,
from BYU,
38.7 from BYU, Jill Van Yellow.
She also earns first team all-conference. In second place.
In second
earning
place
first team
tonight,
all-conference with a score of 39.250
39.250 from BYU is Shannon Hortman. A couple of excellent BYU all-arounders up there.
The
conference champion tonight in the all-around
from Boise State,
Shani Remy.
One more round of applause for your all-conference all-around champions.
Excellent all-arounders up there. Give us quite the show tonight.
Special awards.
Mountain Rim Gymnastics coaches submitted their votes for Freshman of the Year. Presenting the
Now we're going to give out the Freshman of the Year award.
of the MRGC Board of Directors.
And this is voted on by the coaches.
Freshman of the Year from BYU, Shannon.
Freshman of the Year goes to BYU's Shannon Hortman. And there was a lot of competition in that category there. It could have gone to Courtney McGregor. It could have gone to several other freshmen in the conference. So Shannon Hortman can hold that award with pride.
It's a big award, especially being a conference award. And as a freshman, she only has room to grow from here.
Coaches also voted for the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Gymnast of the Year. Presenting the award
Another
is
award
Dr. Brian
also voted on
Evans
by the
of
coaches is the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference Gymnast of the Year.
MRGC Gymnast of the Year from Boise State.
This award is going to go to Boise State's Shani Remy. Shani's just racking up the awards tonight. She's going to need a new trophy case. Again, no shortage of good options there. Excellent choice, though, by the coaches.
The final individual award to be given out before we announce the team scores is for the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Coach of the Year.
There's going to be one final award given out to the Coach of the Year.
Board of Directors. The 2017 MRGC Coach of the Year from Boise State.
And the
Tina
Mountain
Berman and
Rim
Neil Resnick.
Gymnastics Conference Coach of the Year goes to Boise State's Tina Bird and Neil Resnick. Well deserved after such an excellent season by Boise State. Very clearly just a well-coached team, well-disciplined. They bring it every single week. And that's why they're ranked so highly.
Yes, Boise's been ranked high the past couple years here. It just shows you what these coaches are doing with this program.
And now, gymnastics fans, time for the final team scores.
Now we are going to announce
Finishing
the
in fourth
final
place
team
with a
scores.
score of
In fourth place, with a
194.675
194.675 tonight, goes to Brigham Young University. Probably a little bit of a disappointment. You know, you never want to finish in fourth, but again, it's a very strong conference, and we saw that they have some good youth on that team. Finishing in third place with a 196.075 is Southern Utah University.
Here's where we start to talk about how close these scores really were as we get to these top 3 teams.
Absolutely. And in second place with a 196.1, Utah State.
Just .025 off from Southern Utah.
Southern Utah, the previous 2 years, has finished in second. So Utah State, a little bit of an upset there. And in first place, the 2017 conference champions, Boise State University. Total score of 197.05.
It's a great score for Boise. Definitely going to help them in the rankings after these weekends as they head off to postseason regionals.
Absolutely. So Boise State, a third straight repeat as champions of the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference. And they brought it tonight. They showed us why. But really, just all around great competition. All 4 teams brought it. I feel like we saw just some excellent competition between all 4 of them. Individuals, events, teams, all just great tonight.
It'll be nice to see how these teams do in their next couple of weeks as they practice and head off to regionals.
Absolutely. I know I'll be cheering for all 4 of these teams moving forward, and it's going to be fun to see them in the coming years as well. Well, from Utah State University, we have a final score. Boise State 197.05, Utah State 196.1, Southern Utah University 196.075, and Brigham Young University 194.675. From my broadcast partners,
Destiny
And Courtney.
I'm Jaden, and we are going to sign off here from the campus of Utah State University. Thank you for tuning in to this season's Mountain Rim Gymnastics Conference Championship. Have a good night.
Gymnastics Conference. Thank you for your attendance this evening. Thank you for supporting all of our MRGC student athletes. Please drive home safely. A reminder, fans, please stay off the floor and